it's me. My name is Chris, and this is another cold read. So for those of you who don't know what a cold read is, it's essentially me as a VC and as an angel investor looking at a pitch deck that I've never seen before from a startup I know nothing about. And I will say every single thing I think in my head, but will almost never say to a founder to their face. And this is important because almost always when a founder either hears the words, "You're too early, you're not a fit," or just gets ghosted, it is because there's something in the pitch deck which destroys the credibility of the pitch, but the investor doesn't want to lose the relationship. So they'll just go, "Oh, it's a bit too early, oh, not a fit." But that doesn't help you as a founder. So I want to share everything that I would think if I were to see this pitch deck in the hope that it helps you understand where confidence is won or lost in a pitch deck. Now, like all cold reads, if there comes a point where I would genuinely put the pitch down and disregard it, you'll see me do that. Or if I get to the very end and I love it, I will send them a message and you'll see me do that. But as it stands, I don't know anything about what we're about to see. I'll say it as I see it, and of course, it's just opinion. None of this is necessarily true. It is just how I view the world. Okay? All right. Now, let's go. Share my screen. Shady. All right, where are we? Voxmind. Okay. I'm going to say everything I think as I think it. Okay, so I see 16 slides. That's too many for me to be able to review quickly, usually. So if it appears like there's going to be lots of words, I'm going to do a flick test, which essentially means I'm going to go very fast through the deck, get like the major headlines that I see and see if I can form the narrative. Because if I can't be asked. But if I can, I'll go to the bits that I really want to know about and spend a lot of time on those particular slides. Okay, Voxmind, your voice, your identity, instantly recognized. Now, there's a lot of voice recognition stuff happening right now, particularly with the equivalent of deep fakes for voices, right? It's voice synthesis is becoming incredibly good. And for what it's worth, by the way, this has been used by intelligence agencies for about 15, 20 years. Like voice synthesis in that regard is still better what it was 20 years ago than what we are seeing in the consumer space right now. So people think this is new tech. It's not new tech at all. Anyway, so your voice, your identity, instantly recognized. I assume this is detecting fake voices. Let's have a look. Purpose. Voxmind's purpose is to revolutionize identity verification by harnessing the power of voice biometrics, providing unparalleled security and convenience to businesses and their customers. So I guess it is a bit like that, but not quite the use case I was thinking of. So voice imprinting. It is hard to fake, but at the same time, people's voice characteristics do change. Now, this is strangely something I have quite a bit of experience in. So the things about voice printing is that while it's accurate within a short period of time, people's voices change. Their kind of larynxes changes. They get illnesses. They get unwell. And of course, you can retrain whatever identifier you have. But yeah, interesting. And I can see how this could be used immediately. I'm not even beyond this page yet, but I can already see how banks would use this, insurance companies would use this, schools would use this, nurseries would use this to validate that the person they're speaking to is actually a parent, for example. Interesting. Facial recognition. There's a lot of work going on in facial recognition to say that it's probably going to be better than voice recognition. Anyway. Problems, financial institutions. Okay, yeah, we're targeting banks. KYC, yeah, it's all classic stuff. I don't need to read any of that stuff. 23 billion worth of potential identity fraud by 2030. That is way too low. No, okay, there's two things I'm thinking right now. The very first thing is I know that number is not correct. I know it's infinitely higher than that number. Identity fraud as a industry, when it relates to things like biometrics, is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. So wherever they got their number from, it's just, well, it already says 2021. We're not in 2021. It's 24, nearly 25. Come on, use some decent statistics. Anyway, it's over $100 billion. And I know that for a fact because right now the UK government has now made it law to refund under a certain amount of money per month to people who claim that they've had identity theft and money has been taken from their account for whatever reason. and they have to just refund it. No arguments. It is such a big financial problem that other countries are looking to follow on from the UK's new set of legislation regarding this topic. So this is not only going to be a $100 billion problem, this is probably going to be a $500 billion problem coming up. So you are massively underselling yourself. And you are lucky I know that, because if I didn't know that, I would look at $23 billion and go, not big enough. If I was a VC. And the reason for that, as many people know who've seen these videos, is that I need to know that it is possible to return my entire fund's value with one investment. Every single investment must hit that criteria or have the capacity to hit that criteria. And when a market is low like this, it's just incredibly unlikely. So yeah, I know it's a big market. I'm not even going to bother reading it. Solution. Our solution instantly authenticates users with quick voice recognition by identifying multiple distinct voice biomarkers. I'm not really enjoying either the DALL-E images or the Canva, stock photos. But anyway, I mean, like, I know what this is. Like, most people who have any idea of voice identification tech will know what this is. This is a little bit elaborated. What I really want to know, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated now, particularly if you've targeted the tech investor, I want to know what you have done, which is different to every other form of voice imprinting or voice identification in the past. Like, why is this better than anything else that exists? Because I can guarantee you the likes of Detica, BAE Systems, Accenture, Siemens, they have all created a version of this for their own clients. Whether they've commercialized it as a general product, I don't know. I'm willing to bet McAfee, Symantec, all those other people have also created things like this too. So what do you do that they probably haven't? That's what I really want to know. Unique advantage. Okay, well, okay. I should have been patient, shouldn't I? Leverage cutting-edge technology. What cutting-edge technology? You're just repeating yourself. Unparalleled security, according to who? Language agnostic, according to who? Well, I mean, like, languages, of course it's language agnostic. Resilient against voice imitation and deep fakes. I mean, that's the point. Does not require large speech samples. Okay, that could be interesting. Low computational costs. Well, if they've been doing this for 20 years, it's always been relatively low computational costs. Still not convinced this is showing me anything I haven't seen before. Humans. As an early stage investor, I am not the buyer of your product. I am the investor of your business. I want to know how you compete against others in a market, not on a feature by feature basis. Because, for example, you're saying IDR&D, Pindrop, Veritas here, who I don't know those businesses actually, but let's just for argument's sake say they're large, well-funded businesses or established companies, whatever it may be. What you're telling me with this slide, whether you realize it or not, is that they've already looked at these things that you have a tick box next to and gone, not worth it. That's what you're actually telling me. What you're not telling me, which is what I really want to know, is what are the most compelling novelties or innovations that you have created which makes other competitors fall behind? That isn't in one of these things. Like verify in under 3 seconds. I mean, if it's all just computing power, I'm sure these can verify in under 3 seconds. Support real identity platforms. Cloud API. Like, for fuck's sake, come on. Target market. Your TAM is 82 billion, but previously you said it was a 23 billion problem. Don't fully get that. Business model. Yeah, it's an API-based business model. It makes complete sense. Understood. Okay, 14 years in the IT industry. What, making printers? Doesn't tell me anything. Database designing, database and cloud infrastructure, security services. Founders with PhDs in speech processing, ML, and linguistics. Well, that is interesting. But who's got that? Who has it and where from? What was your thesis title? Okay, like the issue with this is that I'm willing to bet they have some very rich experience but I can't validate. There's no halos here, as I like to call it. There's nothing here I can look at and go, oh, because of that, I'm going to look at everything else more positively. Right now, I've got database designing. I mean, my kid's designing a database, and he's fucking 5. Security services. That could mean many things. It could just involve so many things. And so, yeah, like a PhD in phonetic engineering. That's pretty cool. So it looks like Sarita, I'm sorry if I've ruined that, is incredibly strong here from an academic point of view, but I'm not entirely sure what Jacqueline brings to the table. Still haven't heard. Well, I don't care about advisors. Market strategy, key message. I don't care. I don't care. None of this matters. I'm going to go straight and see how big a fundraiser is looking for. I don't know. I don't even know if I can invest in this thing because, oh, sorry, there it is. Pre-seed. Okay, your pre-seed 500K SEIS. The limit for SEIS I thought was 250K. Has that changed? I don't think it has. It was 125. It went up to 250. So, yeah, it's probably not correct. Okay, if you're raising 500K, that means you're very early. I don't give a fuck about your marketing strategy. Don't care. I want to know if it works. I want to know if it works and who cares that it works. That's what I want to know. Okay, here we go. Here's a test. What currency is this? 36 million pounds is very different to $36 million, very different to 36 million euros, 36 million rand. They're like, what is it? Come on, rookie error. Oh, that's a reason I would normally put it down, because I'm just like, oh, come on. Look, you're building a business. Customer growth rate, is that an assumption or a target? Is it tested? I don't know. Anyway, you're basically saying by year 5, let's just say this is pounds. What? Okay, I'm out. I'll tell you exactly why I'm out. This slide makes me out. It makes me out in many ways. Oh, such a shame. It's a shame because it's a good problem. It's a good problem. Voice identity is voice biometrics as a tool, as an API that third parties can use in whatever interstitial service. So that's like TrueLayer or in most of these credit card service providers or WorldPays or Wises or whatever else have these like interstitials, these things that step between you and the kind of merchant. So they step in between and say, wait a second, let me check if this person's real. These interstitials are a growing and booming business, and there are many different takes and angles on what these interstitials will be. And it is interesting to use voice as one of those potential kind of validators. Much like we get passkey from Apple, or we get the Windows Hello and stuff like that. But it's an interesting thing. But I don't know what you do that other people don't. I've seen this problem a million times. I know it's actually old technology, but this slide destroys it for me. First, no currency, so I can't evaluate. If I'm a VC, I simply cannot evaluate if I am even allowed to invest in this, because I need to make sure that there is a return on investment that can repay my fund in theory. And I have to go on the information the founder gives me. That is what I agreed with my LPs. And the founder has not given me the information that I need. So as a VC, boom, I'm out. But here's the other reason I'd be out anyway. Look at the cash balance. There'd be net positive 104,110 after year 1. Why do you need money? You'll be net positive 1.8 million after year 2. Why do you need money? You'll be net positive 54 million by the end of year 5. I mean, good for you. Do it. Prove me wrong. Just go ahead and do it. Like, this isn't an investable thing. This might be a private equity. If those numbers are real, then it could be a private equity thing where they get their return on investment by taking dividends and distributions. But as a venture investor, it's not that I don't care about the financials. I very much do. But what I really care about is the value of the equity. And what this isn't necessarily telling me is what the value of the equity is going to be. Like the cash balance itself, it could just be 0.0000000, for example. Not suggesting it should be, but it could be. However, your like user growth has gone up, number of transactions has gone up, the number of API calls is just like blowing out the water. You're telling me you're the most valuable player in your category. As a venture investor, that is actually what I care about. Instagram made next to no money before they sold for $1.1 billion. Like it's not about the cash reserves of the business that make it a compelling venture investment. As a private equity thing, yes, possibly it does because they want to get the dividends and distributions. But as a venture investor, I get my return on investment when you sell your business. Why are you going to sell your business when it's just printing money? That doesn't make any sense to me. So as a venture investor, I have to be out, both as an angel, as a VC. I haven't seen anything particularly compelling. Roadmap and validation, raise money, MVP. Like, it's gone Q3 24. So where is this? Where is the MVP? Why don't you just link to it? Why don't you show me? Like, add features. Like, come on. It's almost like you're trying to pretend like you're in stealth. You've got patents pending. Like, it's all going to be public. Okay, so here now you're seeking 500K with 250K SEIS qualifying and targeting a 1 million seed round in 2026. I mean, that 500K is only going to last you a few months if you're really doing a piece of deep tech. But then again, if you've got that much cash reserve, if you're putting 1.5, okay, here's another test. I'm just going to indulge myself now. 1.5 million pounds is the target investment by 2026. Let's see what that cash balance is in 2026. If it's more than 1.5 million pounds, it means I don't need the money. Is it 24? So it's year 3. Come on. It's just not investable. It's not because I want to invest in loss-making businesses. It's because I want to invest in businesses that are trying to be the most valuable player in their category. This tells me that I don't even know what they're valuable for. Meh idea. It's an idea that's old. I can totally see how it can be a good idea, but there's just not enough fidelity in this pitch deck for me to understand if it's even worth it. Nah. Wouldn't reply. I mean, I'm not a dick. I'd reply and say, hey, not for me. I don't see anything novel in here. I'm sorry. Thank you. Good luck. That would be how I would reply. Other investors, a VC would probably say not a fit or too early, in the hope that you'll then give some more detailed information in a future fundraise, perhaps. Kind of another angel investor that's a little bit more ruthless will probably just reply and say, looks interesting, but not for me. Whereas I would reply and say, hey, you're not giving enough away for me to know if this is interesting. Not for me. Thanks. There you go. That's my cold read. Have fun, everyone. Have a lovely, what day is it? Friday. There you go. Goodbye.